I'm going to show you exactly how to become a YouTube thought leader in the next couple of minutes. Now, after making over 400 YouTube videos and helping my clients generate thousands in back-end revenue, I've noticed a really obvious difference between the channels that are essentially non-existent and those that create a magnetic following. And for some reason, most people just haven't caught on to this yet. The thought leaders who build their following on YouTube didn't get there by accident. They followed a strategy that made their content irresistible to watch. And they burned a question into their viewers' minds, one that I will answer in the next few minutes. So the first thing we need to ask ourselves is this: are you a YouTuber or are you a thought leader? Because if you run a business and your channel is going to be a lead generation source for you, if you're going to be a YouTuber, that's it. That's the end. Go ahead and just clock off right now. But if you want to be a thought leader, here is why this matters. When you're a thought leader, you have influence. When you have influence, you build up belief. And when you build up belief, you can make money. So how do I become a thought leader on YouTube? The first step is to actually understand what thought leadership is and what it isn't. What it isn't is this: from 9 years ago, what people thought leadership was, going on TV or going on TED Talks and talking about a specific subject, which, yes, they're obviously experts in their field, but this isn't what thought leadership is anymore. You don't have to have a PhD in, sleep to be a thought leader, okay? A thought leader is an individual or firm recognized as a foremost authority in a specific field. As the term implies, a thought leader leads others in thinking around a given topic. But they don't need to be a firm, this massive brand that everyone has to know about. If you can solve a specific problem that a specific niche of people have, you are a thought leader about that. And there is a massive opportunity on YouTube right now, because I did a couple searches when I looked up stuff about, let's say you have a cold email agency. I looked up how to send cold email in 2025 on TubeBuddy, which is just a tool that I use to figure out what ideas work on YouTube. Essentially, it just says hey, there's supply for this video and then there's demand for it. So look, when it says search volume, that means a ton of people are searching for it and there's a mid-level competition. This is an excellent video to make. So if you run a cold email agency, you should be making YouTube videos because look, you have some competition, but people are hungry for this kind of content. And if you were making this video, you could literally rank up super quick. Or how to start an AI business in 2026. Again, another 100 out of 100. So we see a ton of search volume with, again, about the same amount of competition. And I promise this is an actual search. You could literally go look it up right now. This is not a Photoshop job. And then LinkedIn is also another great opportunity. And you see Laura Costa doing a great job and ranking up first for videos such as how to grow on LinkedIn fast. There is barely any competition. Barely anyone is talking about growing on LinkedIn, but there isn't a ton of search volume, but that's okay because it's a growing niche. More and more people are trying to grow their LinkedIn right now. Therefore, only more people are going to start searching for these specific key terms around YouTube, and the competition is going to get higher and higher, and this score will not be as good. So again, there's a ton of opportunity in very niche things that, again, you don't even have to be the foremost expert on it. You just have to have the following to get attention. So here's what most businesses get wrong about what they think they need to be a thought leader. They think they need a massive following, but they don't. They think they can just post anything that they think is helpful. So again, with LinkedIn, I'm searching for a very specific thing that people have problems about. They have a pain point about growing on LinkedIn. Therefore, people are searching for those terms. You can't just make any post about LinkedIn and assume it's going to work anymore. They also think they need to be everywhere at once. You don't have to be on all the platforms, believe it or not. If you focus on, let's say, LinkedIn and YouTube, you're good to go. You only need 1 to 2 platforms to work. Here's what real thought leadership looks like on YouTube. You are insightful. You take a strong stance on how your industry should operate, and your content begs the question, what's next? And because this makes viewers want to learn more about your services. And here's why this matters for lead gen, because when you're making these videos, people trust you. They book more calls with you and you have a higher close rate, because what happens is when people trust you, they watch all your videos, they learn about you, they see your face, they hear your voice, they're going to trust you much more. They're going to be more likely to book a call because they assume you are the utmost authority in your niche, and it's going to make the close rate a lot higher because you can already pre-sell your offer so that sales calls become easier. And what I mean by this is you have videos that address their objections before they ever head onto a call with you. All right, so how do we actually do this? Step 2 is using this system to become a thought leader. And the first thing you need to do is generate thought-worthy ideas. If you don't want to watch it, then others won't either. And read this over and over again while I have this on the screen. Essentially what I'm trying to say here is that if you come up with an idea and you don't even care like yourself, if you put yourself in the viewer's shoes and you ask yourself, would I actually click on this video? Would I actually, watch this piece of content? If you wouldn't, don't make the video. If you would, cool. Now you actually have a chance to actually build up a following. So what you want to do when you're coming up with ideas is identify problematic opinions in your niche. I actually did a post the other day talking about how I'm canceling my ConvertKit or Kit subscription. So that's the email service. Now, I obviously talk about video a ton and YouTube, but Kit is a big part of a lot of businesses and like how they generate, income for themselves. But I made kind of a quote unquote problematic post saying why I'm canceling it, because I'm just assuming they're upping the price because they just did a rebrand, which got a good amount of attention. It got a lot of comments, not necessarily like any inbound leads or anything, but it got attention and it just kept building up my brand more. And then I tied it in to a video idea. So you want to be just slightly problematic, meaning you have an opinion and you're not just like a copy paste robot saying the same exact thing everyone else is doing. And what you don't want to do is use ChatGPT for everything. Instead, pull from your client questions, your pains, your objections. The big thing with AI right now is that anyone can find information really easily. It's so accessible because literally anyone can find, answers to their problems. So instead, what you need to do to differentiate yourself and become a thought leader in your industry is use the questions that your clients ask you, use the resources that are given to you that only you have, that no one else can replicate, and answer those pains and answer those objections that they have. Then you want to focus on how things should be done instead of just generic tips. Okay, so for example, when I talk about video content, I believe that YouTube is the way to go for any kind of high ticket service. A lot of people would say otherwise. I have that point about YouTube. So then once you have your ideas, how do we actually take scripts and write them out? Now, I love a simple script structure, and I kind of made an outline of what that can look like right here. I'll try and keep the screen here so you can see. So the big idea is that we use a simple 3-point structure, just like we did in high school. And there's a reason we use this high school structure, and I'll get into that in just a minute here. Now, this looks really complicated, and if you failed all your English classes in high school, but you want to get into YouTube and start using it as a sales funnel so you can, book some more calls for your business, go ahead and click the first link in the description of this video. We can write all these scripts for you, as well as come up with the ideas, do the editing, everything. So go ahead and click the link in the description. We can hop on a call as soon as we can. So let's keep it simple. 3-point structure, a hook, a body, an outro, and then 3 main points in the body. So what we're doing is we have a hook that's going to be sticky. It's going to get attention. It's a question that gets people to actually want to watch the video. Okay. Then we go right into the body. We want to get straight into the meat and potatoes of the video. That way people can get their answers quickly. We just go through each point, and for each point, you have 3 sub points. Then you do a call to action. You have another main point, sub points, and then another main point and all the sub points. Then you go to your outro, and then you have a call to action. I have another video that I wrote about script writing in the top right corner of the screen that goes into this in a bit more detail. But the main idea I want to get across here is that the structure looks like a high school essay because it's meant to make a claim, lay down some proof, and lead the viewer to the next step. It's that simple. Thought leadership is not meant to confuse people. It's meant to break down complex ideas into easy to understand videos, okay? And then move them across to beg the question again, what is next? How can they help me even further and even potentially solve the problems for me? Then what we want to do is we want to batch film these videos. So that means having 3 to 4 videos ready to go at a time. You have an hour or two to film, and then you just film for that session using the scripts. You can hire an editor so you don't have to learn how to do any editing, and literally those are your 3 to 4 videos per month. Boom, done. You have your videos ready to go. Now, there is a third step though, and that's turning your thought leadership into booked calls, because what is content without actually like making money from it? Okay, unless you were literally doing this for fun, you're retired, or you already sold your business and you just want to make some content, become, a thought leader for some reason, cool, you can do that. But if you run a business and you want your YouTube channel to make you some revenue, we want to make sure we're turning our ideas, our thought leadership, the trust that we build with our clients and our viewers into actual book calls, into revenue, or people just purchasing your products. Okay, so how do we funnel viewers from content to calls? make sure that every video guides viewers to a lead magnet or a booking link, okay? Lead magnets are great, as you know, because it's going to literally give someone something they can use right away, and then you can use that lead magnet to book a call from there. I like to just go straight to a booking link unless I'm promoting a specific lead magnet that I made. And you want to use your content to strategically map to different buyer stages. The key thing here is you don't want to just make videos about anything. You want to make videos for people who are aware of their problems. So for example, if I wanted to make an AI-based agency, I'm gonna look that stuff up on YouTube. I have that problem. I don't know how to do it. I know I want to. Then what your video is going to do is make them solution aware. Then what you want to do is you want to track which videos book calls, and so you can double down on what converts. The worst thing you can do, especially like as a marketer, is just have people book calls, but you have no idea where they're booking from. Because if you're on LinkedIn, you're on YouTube, and you don't know where your calls are coming from, then you can't actually track like what is working, what's not. So what I do is I literally change my booking link and I copied it, right? So I have one that's for LinkedIn, I have one that's for YouTube. So whenever a discovery call comes in, it's going to tell me, which, segment or which link it's coming from, and I can see that if this one's coming from YouTube, boom, I know, where the call is coming from. It's important to understand why most content doesn't convert to clients, right? Because we can have all these things in place. We can have the right ideas. We can have the right editing, all that stuff. We can have these segmented, links that tell us exactly where our calls are coming from. But if we're not actually getting calls, then like what do we do? So what happens is if we don't have a clear call to action, you're not going to book calls. Most people need permission to take action. If you don't tell them that, hey, you have permission to go book a call with me, they are less likely to do so. And that's because you assume people make choices for themselves. No, most people are sheep. They will follow what the herd is doing and not make a change. So you need to be the person who tells them, hey, we can go off the beaten path here, but it leads to a better place. Thought leaders are leaders, so lead the way. Now, here's the result. When you nail this system, you have a consistent flow of 10 plus qualified sales calls monthly without any paid ads, without DMs. It can work really, really well when you do this consistently. Prospects will arrive to calls already understanding your frameworks, and they will respect you. And when it comes to getting on these sales calls, I can't tell you how many times I've been on a sales call and someone hops on and they tell me, hey, I watched all your content. I read your LinkedIn posts. I'm here to really just learn more about what you do. Boom. It's a calm situation. It's a calm environment. And the sales call goes really well because we go through the discovery phase great. Then when I give them the offer, everything is good because they already know me. They feel like they know me, and all I have to do is just get to know them and what their problems are. So if you want me to, again, build this YouTube sales funnel for you, you have no idea or don't have time to actually go and come up with the ideas, write the scripts, do the editing yourself, and do all the quality control. There's a lot that goes into it. If you want me to build this YouTube sales funnel, we can do that. We can hop on a call. If you just click on the first link in the description below, we'll talk about your situation, see if a YouTube sales funnel even makes sense for your business, and after that, we can take the next step. So again, click that first link in the description. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this video. Really helps me out. I'm trying to build up this agency from the ground up, so your subscription really helps. It really helps to also push this video out to more people who could use the help. So again, like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if there's anything in the comments you want to see, and I will see you on the next video.